Alright, we are about to hit Route 211. Route 211 is one of the twistiest roads in the DC area. This is Berryville, Virginia. And right now we are on 211. Going that way is DC. This is going towards the Shenandoah. It's really kind of cool. This is the old town, it's Berryville here. And you have to go pretty slow through town. But there's not that much to do here except for like weekenders. It used to be really popular amongst motorcyclists, but then, as you might expect, motorcycles started crashing and dying, so they started to crack down on the motorcycling here. They put like, at one point they put speed bumps before the corners, and then they put these little rumble strips, and now they put like the sign like high crash area, motorcycles beware, or something like that. But it used to be really popular, and motorcyclists came here on the weekend almost every weekend because it was the closest road, and they would frequent all of these restaurants, and they were the business. And then all of a sudden they started dying, and then the people here started complaining, and then they started bringing helicopters, and they really do not mess around there. So it used to be you could go really fast through here. Nowadays it's gotten very slow because people and you know, sometimes I feel like there's people that call the cops when they see a motorcycle going this way, or there's cameras to indicate that there's motorcycles here, and cops will come here. Like, I've gotten this quite a bit. It's just me on a weekday here riding, and I've done a couple like loops, and then all of a sudden there's a cop coming the opposite way, and I wonder what's going on. Why are you here? It could be coincidence, but I think there's people that might be telling them to, hey, come and get this guy, you know, because most likely you're going to go over the speed limit. Alright, we are approaching the twisty area. Speed limit 35 miles an hour. Who does that? But look at this. Motorcycles. High crash area, next 3 miles. Kind of incredible. You know, I've come through here several times with very different types of people, and I've had serious crashes here. And there was a guy that I think one time I met, and he died here. So he was riding an SB 650. Now here's the problem, 35 miles an hour. This is very difficult to ride at 35 miles an hour. It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But you know, you can kind of go a little bit faster. It doesn't have to be 35 miles an hour. I can still have fun at that speed. Okay, truck, go to the right. No? Alright, I'm gonna have to pass him. You know, it's kind of incredible. The first few corners here are the most dangerous, by the way. Oh, these are hikers over here. Alright, this corner is very dangerous. I think it's a decreasing radius corner, and you can see like, oh yeah, it just keeps going, and it just keeps tightening up. The best thing you can do is just to keep it right here. It's a very tight, and then tightens up even more. The one thing you need to do is ride this and kind of do a pass. And honestly, I just do a pass to see if there's any cops in the area. It's not so much about safety apparently, but this bike handles these corners really well. On a sport bike, they're so much more stable that it's very easy to ride. But, and also there's stuff all over the road. In the middle you can kind of see it, it's like sand and stuff. Man, yeah, it's a dangerous road. It's like, I've had like a lot of experiences here, but it is a fun road. It just goes back and forth like this. The one thing you have to keep in mind is that there are cops around this area. So if there's any pullovers, there's a pullover coming up, you have to be careful. There's a pullover there, and you know, I thought that was a cop right there, but I'm all over the road. And I think I'm more worried about, here's a Porsche. At least they're silent. You know, this bike does sound pretty fast. Remember, 35 miles an hour. It used to be 55 here. And you're just climbing up in elevation here. Curve, slow curve. I had a guy crash here one time. He broke his G6R 1000. This bike is incredibly like easy to ride though. That's the thing. And completely comfortable. Here's another very tight corner. It's one of those decreasing radiuses. So in that case, you just have to go into the corner a whole lot slower than you're used to. It's not about going fast. You know, for me, I like to go slow. Yeah, but whenever I see people, man, I really, on the weekends, see right here, this corner, you can take it at a really high rate of speed. Holy shit. Okay, look how dangerous this is. Ice. Holy shit, that was dangerous. I am so glad I didn't decide to speed over there. That would have been a crash. That would have been a crash, guys. That is a dangerous little section there. Whew. That was not a good view. I mean, it's just like a chunk of ice riding, going through the middle. Now, we are approaching the highest elevation. We are at 2,100 feet in elevation. And this is where the Shenandoah National Park is, to the right. So to enter here, you have to pay like $18 or something crazy. So of course I am not going to do that at all. If you have the National Parks Pass, that's a great idea. If you don't, you can actually kind of pull over here and there's a nice little place where you can hang out. And now we're going to go down the Shenandoah to Warrenton. Like, remember, this is a very twisty and dangerous road. Look how beautiful this is. You're better off. My technique for riding has changed over the years. I used to go into corners fast, brake lane, and then I realized, why am I doing that? There's like no point. You see that motorcycle high crash area? That sign is everywhere. And right now, you have to keep in mind that this is winter. It's 46 degrees out. It's much colder up here than it is down the mountain. And what happens is that there is ice that develops in the middle like this. Look at that. This is ice. This is ice on the road. Like a strip of just disgusting ice on the road. You can still have fun. Remember, slow before the corner, downshift, brake if you have to, and keep it consistent. Keep it giving it gas. Don't let go of the gas. You don't want to chop the throttle as you're into a corner. So slow down, brake, set up. You can even kind of like move your body a little bit. I'm not one of these guys that likes to get off the bike. I like to sit on the bike and just kind of squeeze through. If you're riding to that point, then you're riding too fast. If you need that extra balance, you know, most of the time a bike will just do what you want. You don't have to go too fast. I'm also paying attention to the cars on the road. So slow down, brake, make sure you look at that sand. That middle part is like sand, you know, treatments for the snow. And I believe we're supposed to get some snow pretty soon. Man, I remember coming through here so many times, like in so many crashes. I had good times here, chasing people down, but it's a very brutal road, because if you look to the right, that is a guardrail. It's not going to go anywhere when you hit it on a motorcycle. It's just going to kill you. Yeah, like there was this guy on an SV650, and I don't remember him too much. I didn't ride with him, but when you're young, you want to kind of push yourself a little bit because you want to get better. You know, everything about riding a motorcycle is like, oh, you got to get better. Everything about computers, you got to get better. We as a species want to get better at riding. We want to get better at everything that we do. And it's the same thing with motorcycling. We want to get better, and getting better is getting faster. But I suggest that you have a different mentality for riding. Riding is not all about going fast. It's about being smooth and being efficient, and best of all is not crashing. You're better off going slow and enjoying yourself. See, I could go much faster. That's the thing. I just don't need to go faster. I don't want to go faster. If you keep your riding at 70% of your capabilities, you're not going to be crashing. And the only way that you'll crash is that if some other person is getting in front of you, going into your lane, things that you cannot avoid. So you might as well decrease the ability of crashing just by riding a little bit slower. You don't have to ride, you know, like a grandma, like this Kia in front of me. You don't have to ride that way. But I think a lot of times when you ride in a group, you get carried away with the speed of the group. When you're riding by yourself, I think it's a learning process. That's how you really learn. But I think in the past, everybody was trying to keep up with me. And I'm not saying I'm fast, but I think I'm relatively smooth. And I ride for the conditions. Of course, I'm not going to be, you know, doing like a whole finger blast up this mountain when it's winter and there's stuff all over the road. That doesn't make any sense, and it's stupid. And I've seen that over and over by riders. You're better off being a little bit more chill, you know, smoke some weed or something. Oh my god, look at this, guys. My little pole broke. Oh, that sucks, man. Did it take my oh, damn. Yeah, and I lost my cable for my GoPro. I lost the mount. It just broke off. How the hell? Well, I guess I'm glad my GoPro wasn't attached. Back to the drawing board. Yeah, Route 211 is great, but it is a little dirty right now in winter. I really recommend people coming to the Skyline Drive, but the problem is a lot of riders like the Skyline Drive, but it's beautiful, but it's so slow. The speed limit on that road is just insanely low, and they patrol it. And it's not just that too, is that there's so many tourists on RVs going through there because it's so beautiful that it's not even worth it. And there's been so many accidents here over the years. People have really gotten hurt. It used to be such a popular, and I think it still is, but nowadays with cell phones and people, you know, calling the cops all the time, it's very difficult to get like a clean run. And I'm always paranoid. I always had this paranoia that people are going to be calling the cops on me. You know, it's funny, when you enter Berryville, there's these little sets of twisties that are very sharp and fun, but then it kind of opens up again and becomes straight. It's very confusing. In conclusion, guys, you know, I always like to think about the ride when I'm on the highway, because, you know, the highway doesn't seem like it's a ride unless you're riding to a different side of the continent. But I had fun. Gravel roads are great. Virginia roads are completely badass. The only thing you need to watch out for are the Virginia cops. They are notoriously bad for giving speeding tickets. But other than that, Route 211, it's a great road. I just don't enjoy the super tight, twisty roads without any scenery. I'll do it once in a while, but I much prefer these sport touring roads where I get to see a little bit of the scenery. I get to see where locals live. I like to see their houses, and I like to be able to kind of pull over to the side and just do whatever, pee, you know, my usual thing, or eat a snack. But on a super tight, twisty road, I just don't feel like it's even worth it. It's just like, it feels like go, go, go. And it becomes too much like a roller coaster. I much prefer a slower sort of ride pace, as you can see from the ride. I've ridden with so many people, and I think a lot of them get really into riding the super tight roads that they never learn to ride anything else. So when I take them out on roads that they haven't been on, they do not know what to do. They fall, they crash. I've had so many mishaps. But if anybody's in the DMV area and wants to ride, I'd like to do a ride that's all gravel. And I'm trying to put together a route that's all gravel, that you barely touch asphalt, but no hardcore off-road stuff, because quite frankly I don't really want to do off-roading on a 600-pound bike. But this bike, man, is just so comfortable. I rode, how many miles did I do today? 194 miles, and I'll probably have 50 more miles to go, or 60. And I am completely comfortable. I'm not tired, my back doesn't hurt. The ergonomics of this bike are incredibly good. And the V-Strap was good as well, but I find that this one has a more sporty position with the legs. So that makes it a little bit nicer for me. It also has wider handlebars, and the suspension is much better on this. So in a way, it's comfortable because of the suspension as well, which I never thought would be the case. Alright, Squids, thanks for coming along with me on this ride. I will see you in the next video. Bye! Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.